Anyways, all right, let's talk Last of Us episode 5, Feel Her Love.
Yeah, feel it.
Just like we feel Troy's love every week.
Yeah.
So I'll just kind of go through my bullet list right here. We finally got some spores, which I was
I thought about
very
Tula
glad
when
to
I saw
see.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought we had some solid tension in this episode between the stalker ambush and the escape from the Seraphites. Really good scene. Really fucked up scene too with the castrating and shit, or from the chest, whatever you want to call it. Got some good backstory on Dina that explains her motivations a little more clearly. Finally got some rage from Ellie that I've been longing for. Thought that was well done. Finally got some mention of Tommy in the arrival of Jesse. Oh, and I like Nora's death. And I commend the show for having the balls to show her getting beaten, because the game didn't. It just stayed on Ellie the whole time when she was beating Nora for some weird reason. And lastly, Joel is alive at the end. How do you feel about that, Troy? Little fake out.
But that's not. Do I need to watch that fucking scene again? Joel's fucking dead, dude. It's a
Oh, it's
flashback or some
alive.
bullshit. Bull,
It's not
fuck
a
off.
flashback.
Hold on.
Yeah, the
Come on.
cordyceps let you come back from the dead. Apparently, if you only if you
I'm
sip
just-
the spore.
What?
I'm trolling, bro. I'm
Hold
trolling,
on, I'm
dude.
loading this shit up again. The fuck
Just
out of
fucking
here.
with you, man. I'm just
He's
fucking
fucking
with you.
dead. All right. I was loading this shit up. I was gonna be like, what the fuck is he talking about? All right.
But overall, I like this episode. It had a lot of heart, a lot of passion. It was good.
Nice. Nice.
I got to hear Mike's side of things because I know he loves getting into this, man. So, what'd you think, brother?
No, I mean it's probably the episode you'll have the least amount of crying from my end. But I still feel like, oh man, it would have been a cool choice to just for one whole episode, because he skipped over a lot. Like the whole hospital thing, we just bam, she just got right in there, and I felt like it was too easy. But I'm almost wanting, like, I would want a whole episode just tracking Ellie, going and getting into the hospital, just like
Yeah,
that.
that'd be cool.
What was like, just was like that gimmick movie that had you just follow the killer.
I know what you're talking about
Plays
in the
like
first
Jason.
person.
Yeah. But
I
this
know
way,
what
at
you're
least
talking
just,
about, man. Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
you
looked away
could-
for 1 second and I was like, oh, she's already in there? What the fuck? I
Yeah.
glanced
Exactly.
away for like 1 minute and I was like, what happened?
it seemed too easy. And then when Nora's running from her, I'm like, whoa, where all these people come from? All of a sudden they're like shooting at Ellie. So it was like, they spending too much time on they're spending. I feel like they should have reallocated the time spent on the good, in my opinion, the good stuff. Where you're at the Seraphites, where you were at the Stalkers, and then the infiltration of the hospital. I feel like we kind of got cheated out of that a bit. And I'm disagreeing with you on the Nora thing. We really didn't see much. I mean, she just whacked her once with the pipe, and then she raised
Twice.
but we didn't really see, and then it was on the leg too, and I was like, so I was like, I don't know, but I thought that while we kind of missed out on good moments to have, and perhaps a different take on an episode they could have had, just completely following her, have a huge slice of life, being like, what's it like to be alone in this world? So you can have her, basically coming up with crafts, coming up, making stuff out of nothing or whatever the heck, guiding herself through, and it's still kind of telling the story because she's hearing, basically the wolf's backstory. They could be talking, having some hearsay or whatever the heck, and she's basically going to the hospital. And so now, what is it? That was episode 5, so 2 episodes left. We're gonna get obviously a flashback episode with Joel.
Wait, no spoilers, right?
I mean, you just saw it, unless of course,
Okay.
they woke up. It looks like, I mean, I'm just thinking we're getting a flashback episode with Joel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the industry person in me, we know that Joe Pantaleone, forgive me, I'm butchering his last name, is playing Eugene, and I don't think either he's going to be in the scene with Joel, which I imagine he is. How much room does that give us for the finale. So you're already kind of putting in your head. You're like, all right, you can kind of see it going that way, or maybe they're going to extend it. But I thought overall it finally showed us. I almost feel like we got cheated out of the park area. With the Seraphites and the escape seemed too easy. I wanted a little bit more with them, and then I wanted a little bit more with the infiltration into the hospital. But that's about it. We can piggy point off another point if you want.
I didn't do my due diligence and Google this before we did this, but I don't remember. Did Dina get shot with an arrow in the game? I don't remember that. Is that new for the show? When they're in the park?
That's new.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they're doing there.
Well, it's pretty simple. They're using that to have an excuse to put Dina either incapacitate her, put her back into the theater, so she doesn't go on, so they can separate Ellie. Because they're trying hard with this Dina. Apparently Ellie can't do shit on her own. She went on this whole cross country trip with Joel. Was born an orphan, went on this whole cross-country trip with Joel, but she can't handle herself. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. She didn't learn anything from Joel, apparently, in this cross-country trip. If it wasn't for Dina, she's nothing. So that's kind of annoying, too. But I think, they're using this as an excuse to keep her from pushing on. And the fact that she's even offering that up to Ellie, being like, well, I can continue if you want me to. That's like... In and of itself, like a solo scene, isn't that, man, the depth, it shows how much she right, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really make any sense. This is civilization. Jackson's like a stronghold. Get your ass back. You're getting your ass back, and you can hold the fort at the theater. That's fine, but to actively put yourself out there, it doesn't make any sense. Plus, she's puking. She's obviously, not herself. It just doesn't make any sense. So the Seraphite arrow to the leg is basically what they're going to do, or what they did to bring her back.
Yeah, it makes sense. What'd you think, brother? How'd you feel about it?
I enjoyed it, man. I'm liking this. This is probably one of my other than Tula brought up a great point. I literally went to get a drink of water, and because I had it, it's not far away, and I came back and she was in the fucking hospital. I was like, whoa. I had to kind of back it up and watch. I was like, well, that was quick. That was really quick. Yeah. I was like, damn, Did she take a tram into the hospital? Like, hey, we're here.
It's that Game of Thrones teleportation.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Other than that, man, I thought it was great. I thought that they would find them a little sooner, but then again, Seattle's a big city, man. I don't know how they found them in the first place. I know they said they found the map at the movie theater, but how'd they know to go to the movie theater? I don't know. There's a little bit of unreal stuff going on there, but hey, it's zombies and shit. So, I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. And, I thought it was cool with the spores. As soon as I saw it in the air, I was like, okay, that's not dead. I was like, ooh, Tula's going to love this, man. Here come the spores. So I'm glad that they incorporated that. I thought that was a great scene that from the introduction of the spores to the end, I thought it was a great shot. I really liked that, and I think they did a really good job with it, man. And I'm still liking the dynamic between the two young ladies. I know it differs from the game a lot, but I like the direction they're going with them. They're very likable. You find yourself rooting for them, but at the same time, also questioning a lot of these choices they're making. Come on, dude. Okay, no guns. We're just gonna go in this place with knives. Then. I was glad there was more than just one, more than two, more. I was like, okay, this is what you fucking bitches deserve, man. This is dumb in the first place. Going into just there's a reason there's no one here. A reason they don't patrol it. Why? And it was going to be their ass. So we'll see how it goes, man. and it was a good scene. I like even though Zach mentioned, castration from the chest. Well, that's not how it works, but
yeah, I know. I know I flubbed that. Yeah. You know what I meant.
Don't edit that shit out.
I should have
Don't edit it out.
I won't. I should have said disemboweled.
Right here, apparently. Zach.
I meant to say disemboweled, not castrated. But
Fair enough.
either way, still very painful death. But it was cool to see how fucking vicious they are, man. And I got to give
Yeah.
props to Bella Ramsey. Those cutaway or those shots back to her with that just horrified look on her face, man. That was some solid reaction shots from her.
They
But
did almost like annoy me when she got up on stage and picked up a guitar. I was like, oh fuck, we don't need another unplugged moment with this chick and a guitar. And I'm glad they cut it off soon, because I was like, oh really? We don't. There's so much other stuff going on. We don't need to lose 2 to 3 minutes to her singing again. So I'm glad they didn't do that.
yeah.
I was borderline gonna get annoyed. I was borderline gonna get annoyed. Does she do that a lot in the game? Does she like play and sing and shit?
No, it's funny to see how they splice things up and they're incorporating stuff in. That was after they have the initial argument as they enter the theater, and Dina's basically
okay.
telling her, "Oh, you didn't tell me you're immune," and then she's like, "Oh, so you didn't tell me how long have you known you're pregnant?" So they have an argument, and basically you're a liability.
Yeah.
And she's like, "All right, I gotta go
I
secure
gotta
the
play
area."
guitar. I gotta
Yeah.
play
So
guitar.
they sleep in. Yeah, she goes down. It's secure. She comes across the guitar, plays, and goes to sleep. And then they wake up the next day and they reconcile. So
Yeah, because playing a guitar is stealthy as fuck. No one's gonna hear you do that or sing.
yeah, well, she's doing that also, I guess, to remember Joel and to keep
Yeah, for sure.
keep
Oh,
that
for
in.
sure. I get the sentiment. Yeah, yeah. It was a borderline moving moment, but I'm glad they didn't do it.
Hey, but
Well-
I wanted to ask Zach, what do you think about all of a sudden they're reintroducing or introducing the spores?
I don't know, man. Like it's something I kind of wish they said they didn't do spores because they didn't want to have the actors' faces covered with masks the whole time, which I thought was stupid.
It's nonsense.
I don't know. I kind of like how they made it out to be like, okay, well, it's all been locked away in this basement for 20 years, so it's mutated into spores. But
It's like a nest. It's like a nest there.
Yeah,
yeah,
because that's
but-
where it started out. That was ground
yeah,
Ground zero.
zero. Yeah, they made it look really awesome, but
It did. It looked good.
I just
It
don't
was- it was-
know. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it was good. I just wish it would, I don't know, be a bigger factor like it is in the game. I don't know.
It might
I'm,
be
I'm
from
like
now
you,
on.
man. I'm like you, man. I just don't really care for the whole underground network shit. I like the spores atmosphere because
Well, it says both. It says both. Maybe the
Yeah, no, I
closer
know,
you are
I
to
know.
the nest, the mass, then that's where the spores are. It's more predominant in that area. Remember, these guys are all. I kind of look at it like this, and I know, and it's not science because it's not real, but as these guys are running around, these fungal zombies, if you will, I mean, they're burning through calories or whatever the fuck, right? They're literally using some sort of. It takes energy to move and do all these things, right? So maybe they're exhausting whatever pool they have that otherwise, if it's dormant or stationary, like a nesting area, where they could dedicate that resource to generating spores for to produce, then maybe there's only a finite amount of things that they can do with when they're not doing something. But that being the case, when they were all like under the ground and like under the snow, but then I guess maybe the snow suppressed the spores, or I don't know, but it's hard to say. But I do like the spores, so we'll see.
I would like to try to see if they could find a way to make the spores more. Maybe it's mutating. Maybe they get out in the open more, like worldwide or whatever. I would like to see more of that.
Maybe the fungal horde or whatever is evolving. So like they started off like they're like just mindless. They're attracted to noise or whatever. Then there's the smart ones, and now that the part of the evolution process, now they're gonna progress with the spores into another level of hierarchy. But I haven't played the game. I assume there's a hive mind mentality, like there's a boss, if you will, in the game or some bullshit, maybe. Or
Well, if you just forget the game. We're just looking at it from the TV. I'm almost thinking like,
story
man,
point.
this kind of thing I'm almost wondering it kind of offsets because, like at least with the spores, you can understand, all right, this is kind of like there's certain places that have like an overgrown infestation or certain like, the buildings or interior gets overtaken by the fungus, and that essentially becomes like almost like a little no-go zone for humans. They have to block them off, or they have to see, places to clear. And at least it'd be more manageable. This is just like, well, it really doesn't matter because, it's in the ground. And then it's like, well, if that's the case, how the hell are people traveling across the U.S.? Because especially you're on horses and stuff, they weigh a lot.
Yeah.
And so you're always trampling on, so if you're thinking like that, it's going to kind of, it's tough to wrap your head around. Whereas suspension of disbelief is much easier. Oh, it's an infected area that it's overgrown with spores. We got to walk through it with, the gas mask. Otherwise, we're screwed. And that's another thing too. I felt like it could have been a good exploration into that when Nora's running away from Ellie. You know what I mean? To kind of introduce versus just come across it the way we did. I mean, I guess they kind of, you see Ellie walking around there too, but at least for Nora, what does it mean for her to basically this person's chasing you with a damn gun or the spores, you know what I mean? I don't know. But I don't know how they're going to resolve it. Maybe they're going to sweep it under the rug, be like, all right, let's just forget the fungal network thing. We're going to just go this route. But I don't know. I don't know how to answer my own questions. That's why I toss it up to Zach. And
I don't either, really. But I would like to see more, but I don't know if there's going to be like a one-off thing where it's just in that basement and that's all we get of it. But we'll see.
And regarding the characters, the leads, I liked the fact that we're getting more of the mission through Ellie. She's thinking of Joel. The guitar is making her think of it. She is. They're still with the planning of each other. It feels like it almost feels like I'm watching Stakeout with Emilio Estevez, or like it's like a buddy cop thing. It'll be like, oh, go over there. Yeah, remember what happened last time, bro? Oh, there's only a couple in here. Yeah, we can go. I'll go first. No, I'm immune. Like, come on, like what? Where's the urgency? Where's life and death? But that's gonna be my gripe all the time. So it's like
same.
I'm gonna stop saying that. But I liked how she came to Nora and she's like, I don't give you see the bloodlust, because that's how we all would be. Be like, man, I don't give a shit what you know. We'd be like Michael Madsen in Reservoir Dogs. Like, I don't care what you know. I'm gonna torture you anyway. So
yeah. I like that line from Nora too, man. Nora was vicious. That little bitch got what he deserved. Like, golly.
Yeah, that was hard, dude.
Shit, dude.
That sealed her fate, though, because that's it. And now she's trying to be at the end and be like, oh, you know what he did, man. I'm gonna take care of you first.
Troy, man, any predictions? I mean, I know we talked flashbacks and all, but just overall.
I predicted that guy would show up with Tommy.
Spot on.
They're a little later than I had hoped, but they're there. I still would. Hopefully, we get some idea, a flashback of them and how they decided to go to the theater. It's like a little thorn in my side. I'm always like, it's Seattle's fucking big, man. So in fact, you just kind of roll up there. I understand the triangulation, but
they exited when they were running away from the zombies, and the theater was right across the street.
Right, and but then how would they know that they actually entered Seattle from that one point?
Oh, I get what you're saying.
I see why Ellie and what's her name?
What do you mean entered Seattle from that one point? What do you mean?
The girls started in Seattle and went there through that.
Yeah.
And then they got in trouble with all the zombies and ran across the street. And then like, oh, I guess we're not going to run very far. We're just going to go across the street. And anyway, and then they made camp there at the theater. How do the guys know, Tommy and the other guy, the younger gentleman, how do they know that's where they started?
I get what you're saying. Point. Plot conveniences, bro.
I know. It's just, I know, man. It's, I like it. You asked me, so I'm just curious. So I hope I'm predicting like maybe that'd be kind of cool. What the fuck are you smelling your fingers for? What's going on?
Oh, I'm just laughing because what you did a while ago with when you were explaining Dina, you did that gesture. It's like that's how you explain Dina.
Okay. No, I had a cramp in my hand and I did.
Oh right, okay, yeah, right.
But that's a legit point. I think they're again. That's just a byproduct of rushing it, and even
it's
me.
Convenient. It's convenient. So
even me who's like trying to pick everything apart. Even that's something I didn't even think of. So I feel like they're cramming a lot in. But that's my only complaint really about this episode and the beginning of the episode a little bit. But they're cramming so much in that they could have, milked out for even, they could have added a whole other season to this, really. But I guess, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, that was
I
new
agree
too.
with you, man. I haven't played the game, but I really feel like they could have had like twice the number of episodes so far in what we've seen, and really like it would not have felt drawn out to me. We could have got a chance to really flesh out some of these characters. I mean, there's some really great talent on this production. I really feel like it's probably from a budget standpoint or maybe an availability issue with the actors or whatever. But I mean, it seems like we're definitely missing opportunities to kind of get even more immersed in this universe, right? In this environment.
It seems too easy how they get in away from things. They get the stalkers, they're really badass, but they got away easy. And it seemed like way too easy. And then the Seraphites, they got away from that way too easy. Like it was just bang, bang. And then all of a sudden.
So the Seraphites are the smart ones, right?
They're the cult. The living off the grid.
I got you.
The guy with the robes with the size and
the chest castrators.
The castrators,
there you go.
yes.
Chest castrators. Ooh,
there you go.
That's a vicious moniker, man. The fucking chest castrator, dog.
Hey, just add it to the list of shit I'm not going to live down. All right, yeah, cool.
He just memed himself, Z. He just memed himself.
He jacks off like this.
Yeah, but that's it. Just they got away too easy. Like it doesn't feel.
Yeah, they did. They did.
They're getting there though. For me, at least, they're getting there.
Yeah.
But it's too easy to get. Like it feels too easy the way they're getting out of these situations.
Yeah.
Agreed. I agree 100%.
Overall, I had fun with it, man. I liked it, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Do we know when they're releasing the next season? You mentioned not having to wait a couple of years. When did they have a release date for it? Or?
I was just assuming, knowing HBO, they always take 2 fucking years to do a whole new season of something.
To be decided.
Yeah, to be decided.
To be decided.
And then
they're greenlit though, right? I assume.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're ever going to do a part 3 game wise. So
I bet they will after this. They will.
That's what I was going to say. I wonder if this will spark.
Made.
Yeah, I wonder if this will spark interest.
Maybe the game will be based upon Gail's perspective. And you're just sitting around.
Lord.
Your main weapon is throwing the beers from the cooler.
Yeah, dude. I've been playing this game for fucking 10 hours. I'm sitting outside the fucking soccer field, smoking weed and drinking a beer.
Learn how to make the Molotovs with the joints. Yeah, I got you.
This game sucks.
The first mission is like a long therapy scene.
Right.
Man.
All right, guys.
All right,
man.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good day,
one.
man.
Pleasure.
Yeah, y'all too.
Pleasure.
I'll see y'all.